Good morning. In Hebrews 13 and verse 14, the Apostle Paul said that there is no eternal city for us in this life, but we look for the one in the life to come. And in chapter 11 of Hebrews, the Apostle Paul talks of Abraham and his family, and in verse 10 it says they lived there in tents while he looked forward to a city founded, designed and built by God. Now we know that this city is the one that Paul mentions in chapter 12 and verse 22, a city of the living God, heavenly Jerusalem. In Revelation chapter 3, it talks about this heavenly Jerusalem as the New Jerusalem. And the New Jerusalem is also mentioned in chapter 21, most famously, chapter 21. Here it connects the New Jerusalem with a new heaven and a new earth. And it says, I saw the holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, as beautiful as a bride, all dressed for her husband. This beautiful city is coming down here to the earth. And it says, you see this city? Here God lives among men, here on earth with us. Now, when it says that God makes his home among them, that comes from the Greek word meaning tent. And that reminds us of the tabernacle. I have a picture here of it. This is watched as, and you note there are two compartments. There is the holy, the larger, and the most holy, the smaller one. The holy was for the priest to go in every day with offerings to God for forgiveness of sins, but the most holy was special, and the high priest only went in once a year. Now, this tent, we know, represented the real thing, which was heaven. And we know, according to Hebrews, that Jesus entered the most holy himself, and he took the value of his own sacrifice, which was most superior to any other sacrifice which had been made. So coming back to the New Jerusalem then, in Revelation 21, it says that God's tent will be here with us, and they shall be his people. Well, who? If we go back to Revelation chapter 7, where it does talk about 144,000. Now, I can't see this number being literal, but either way, it doesn't really matter. But verse 9 talks about a huge number, impossible to count, of people from every nation, race, tribe and language, and they're standing in front of the throne and in front of the Lamb. They're dressed in white robes. We get more detail in verse 14, where the angel says, these are the people who have been through the great persecution. They have washed their robes white in the blood of the Lamb, and because of that, they now stand in front of God's throne and serve him day and night in his sanctuary. So this huge number of people are considered righteous because of their faith in the sacrifice that Jesus has made, because of his shedding of blood, and we trust that to give us eternal salvation. So sin has gone, disappeared. Now, it says that they serve God day and night in his sanctuary. Now that's taken from the Greek word naos, and it can be translated as temple, and Watchtower's translated it that way, but it's probably referring to the most holy. Now we know that Watchtower believes that the great crowd, or this huge number, will be serving God in the larger, just the holy. They believe that that's where the great crowd are going to end up, figuratively speaking. However, we've noticed from Revelation 21 that God is going to be with us. And also in chapter 7, it says that the one who sits on the throne will spread his tent over them. Now, can God dwell in anything less superior than the Most Holy? No, he can't. And can this great number, this great crowd, serve God in the Most Holy? Of course they can, because they have no sin anymore. They are not second-class citizens. They're just different. We have different role in God's purpose. So what does the New Jerusalem mean for us? I don't want to be dogmatic about this, by the way, but that's how I've been looking at this. But the result of this New Jerusalem is that this great crowd, this huge number, will never hunger or thirst again. There'll be no more plagues. The Lamb will lead them. He'll be their shepherd to springs of living water. And God will wipe away all tears from their eyes. This New Jerusalem, this holy city, is going to come down here and put everything right and make the whole world the most wonderful thing that God wanted for us when he created the planet in the first place. Thank you so much for watching this morning. If you have any comments on this, I'd be grateful to be able to read them. God bless.